Very good evening, everybody. So I request everyone to please settle down. So we'll be starting off with the business session for today. So the first announcement is that we'll be having our club contest on 20th of Feb. So that will be the international speech contest and the evaluation contest. So I request the interested members to please give your names to the Vice President of Education, Master Sanjana, before 18th of Feb. And one condition to participate in international speech contest, you should have finished your level 2 from your pathways. When it comes to evaluation contest, there is no restrictions as such. And coming to the VP update for the next week, so there is only one speech slot booked by a member. So the remaining roles are open, so anybody interested can contact the Vice President of Education. Thank you, and Sergeant, thank you.
Do we all agree that we all have a volume control in our heads? It knows how to turn up our volume of our voice when we want it? Yes, we all agree. So when I ask you next, if 20 was the highest you could go, then maybe you can turn up your volume to 7, 8, 9 when you reply back to me. Is that possible? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Thank you. Very nice. That not only met but exceeded my expectations. So how has your day been so far? Has it lived up to your expectations? Let's also make sure that this meeting lives up to everybody's expectations. So let's take 5 seconds and turn our phones to silent so that we have a good meeting and no phones ring. I started today morning with a plan, with some expectations. I was going to do my yoga and then go about getting ready, and I had to go to my son's college because there was a PTM and I was due there. So I laid out my mat. I was going to start. At 6 a.m. sharp, I get a call from Gauri. Gauri is my maid. Akka tumba thale novu ivattu. My head hurts a lot. Naale bartini. She is a very positive woman. She never says ivat baralla. She always says naale bartini. Now she being so positive, I was not going to go negative on her. So I put the phone down and I took a long deep breath. Then I took another one. Then I said, my yoga today was going to be different. It was going to involve a broom, a mop, and a bucket of water. So I went about my yoga session, which lasted about 45 minutes, a lot of shoulder workout, and then I was done. Then I went about getting ready because I had to go to college for my son's PTM. Typically, it takes me about 15-20 minutes to get to his college. I usually plan for 40, this being Bangalore and all. So I got into my vehicle, started driving. About 5 minutes later, my left front tire was sinking. The air was going and the tire was losing its strength. Clearly, I had a puncture. Now I had to think, what am I going to do? I am due at college. One thought was park the car somewhere, get into an auto, get to college on time. Second one was try to call my husband and see if he will put the stepney in for me. But I was away and he was doing I don't know what. So I was not sure that was going to work. The third option was to ask around. So I went with option 3. I asked around and somebody said, please drive for a few more minutes. You'll get some place. They will repair it for you. Excuse me. So I did that, quickly got in before the tire lost all its air. I found the place, I got it repaired, and then I went over to college. So he took about 15 minutes to repair, and so I still had enough time. So I started the day with 2 expectations. One was my maid was going to show, and the other one was my car would take me to college in 15 minutes. Now, reality and expectations are not friends all the time. Expectations are expectations, but reality has its own mind. So, however, when we have these unexpected turns, we learn new things. Now, for example, today I discovered a new way of doing yoga. And I also discovered that there is a new place where I could get my tire repaired if I needed to. When our expectations are not met, we are forced to adapt and come up with different solutions. Now, when reality does not meet expectations, it gives an opportunity to be open-minded and to be open to new possibilities. In these moments, we also discover new things about ourselves. Now, I know someone who is open to such new possibilities, and he's also discovering new things because he's passionate about traveling. This dog lover loves to travel all over India and try all different adventure sports. He's a BCom graduate and he is pursuing a career at PricewaterhouseCoopers. Please put your hands together and help me welcome the President, Gaurav, Toastmaster Gaurav.
very good evening to all the Toastmasters. I don't see any guests today. So we'll be starting off with the minutes of the meeting for 1197. I request Toastmaster Pavni to read out the minutes.
Good evening everyone. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1197 held on 23rd of January 2023. Theme: Life is like a boomerang. Word of the week: convivial. The business session started at 6:24 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Gaurav. In the business session, the following points were addressed. President Toastmaster Gaurav announced the club contests will be held on 20th February 2023. The contests are the International Speech Contest and the Evaluation Contest. The eligibility for the International Speech Contest is that a member should have completed level 2 in the pathways. Interested members were requested to contact Vice President Education Toastmaster Sanjana for the same. On behalf of Vice President Education Toastmaster Sanjana, President Toastmaster Gaurav mentioned that the individual evaluators TAPG and MTG roles were open for the next meeting. Interested members were requested to contact her for the same. The regular meeting started at 6:26 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Sharanya Prasad started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Gaurav. President Toastmaster Gaurav opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Pavani. Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Pavani spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer Toastmaster Sharanya Prasad, Accounter Toastmaster Shiva Prasad, Grammarian Toastmaster Lakshmi, PP Evaluator Toastmaster Vijay Upendra. The prepared speech session had the following speeches. Speaker 1 DTM Sushma, attempting level 2 project 2, evaluated by Toastmaster Balaji AS. Speaker 2 Toastmaster Jayanti, attempting level 1 project 1, evaluated by Toastmaster Sonal. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Raja and had 10 speakers in total. The general evaluation was conducted by DTM Udanka. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Jayanti, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Balaji, Best Table Topic Speaker Toastmaster Sai Snehal, Best Role Taker TAPG Toastmaster Lakshmi, Best Role Taker MTG Toastmaster Raja. The President closed the meeting at 8:15 p.m. which was followed by the National Anthem. Thank you and back to you.
Is there any changes in the MOM? If not, I open meeting number 1198. A very good evening to all the Toastmasters once again. We have all been there, I'm sure everyone present here would have, at least at one point in your life, you would have imagined how your future is going to be, or an event how it's going to turn out. For example, a speech that you're going to give few weeks ahead, or maybe a conversation that you're going to have towards a girl or a guy, or a job interview that you're going to attend in the future. I'm sure you would have imagined that it's going to be great. I'm going to get the job. But when it comes to reality, I'm sure majority of the time, if the expectation was to go towards the left, I'm sure the reality will be always towards the right. When I say of expectation is just that, what we want the things to happen. Like for example, I have been a big fan of RCB from the time the team was born. And whenever there is an IPL season before COVID, I used to at least attend minimum 3 matches. I used to watch it going to the stadium. There have been times where I've been to Chennai with my dad just to watch CSK versus RCB. If you're going to ask what happened in that match, of course RCB lost horribly. And every time RCB goes to the semi-finals, I'll always be in that expectation that this season RCB will lift the cup. Isala cup, number. Then I don't know what happens to them in semi-finals. We lost, and we have never won cup from past 15 seasons. And I came up with a solution as to what is to be done for this. The solution is stop having expectations. There is this scene from a movie. The movie is called 500 Days of Summer. In this scene, the main character, his name is Tom. He goes to a party which is organized by his ex-girlfriend called Summer. So he goes to the party. As soon as he enters the house, the screen divides into two parts. First part is what he expects the party to be, and the second part is the reality of the party. So when it comes to expectation, he expected that when he enters the party, everything between him and his ex-girlfriend is gonna work out, and they are gonna get back together, and future is a mystery. But when it comes to reality, she will not be happy looking at him at the party. At the entire party, he's just gonna sit in one corner and just have a drink by himself. And at the end, he's gonna look engagement ring on her hand, and he just walks out with disheartened. This is such a clear example of what we expect and what is the reality. So when it comes to expectations, I remember these two lines. Fluctuations are aching my soul. Fluctuations are aching my soul. Expectation is taking its toll. So fluctuations is a normal part of our life. There is always ups and downs, and we cannot change it. But when it comes to expectations, we tend to have a lot of expectations. And when it doesn't, the result is not up to our expectations, we get disheartened. So you should always remember that sky is always the limit. So whenever you expect something, expect according to your league. Don't go beyond your league. So with this, I would like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies for the day. She is a BCom graduate and currently pursuing Chartered Accountancy. She loves singing, baking and sketching. Now coming to a very fun fact about her, as theme for today is expectations versus reality. When you tell this person a joke, she won't laugh. And looking at her not laughing, you'll be in an expectation that she has a poker face. But the reality is she wouldn't have got the joke. So with the huge round of applause, please help me welcome Toastmaster Sharanya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. It was indeed a great introduction. Just a disclaimer that I have to introduce you for the next 20 weeks. A very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Expectations, expectations, expectations. We like it and we can't avoid. Let us start with this year. How many of you had resolutions this year? The major question is how many of you are following it? From having expectations of summer bod or six packs to reality of having a family pack. From having expectations to eating healthy salads to reality of having a whole pizza one day. From deciding to have a proper sleep schedule to binge watching the whole season of The Office. The journey between expectations versus reality will never end. What is the month of Feb called as? It was scripted, unlike Big Boss. Of course, the month of Feb is called as the month of love for some and a month of cringe for some. Having expectations to have a Valentine to being single and adapting a self-love as a compromise is the reality. What is the first thing we want to do after our college gets over? It's obviously that Goa trip with friends. What to do, where to go, what to drink, what to eat, every second is decided. There's a proper Shark Tank also, the proper Shark Tank presentation also given to our parents. It's not even those three magical words. It's just those three magical letters, Y-E-S, that we are expecting from our parents. But what is the reality we all know? That is rejection. Either getting rejected for a Goa plan or in the month of Feb. Without this example, expectation versus reality is completely incomplete, like how the president told. It's none other than our team, Royal Challengers Bangalore. Every year in the beginning of the tournament, it is E-Sala Cup Namde. But at the end of the tournament, it becomes Mundin Sala Cup Namde. If you all want to experience what expectation versus reality is, I just have a small exercise. Just go home today, put on earphones, play your favorite song, put the volume to the maximum, and start recording, start singing with it. And you will be sounding like Arijit Singh and Shreya Ghoshal. Stop playing the song, start playing your recording. That's when you'll realize the difference between Shreya Ghoshal and Dinchak Pooja. We all have expectations of communicating well, having a good leadership quality, and I'm sure that is why we all are here today. There's one person called Ralph C. Smedley who is helping us turn our expectation into reality. He started Toastmasters in the year 1924 at YMCA Santa Ana, California. He believed that people would develop public speaking, leadership, and would meet similar people with positive and uplifting attitude. Today, the organization membership exceeds 356,000 in 143 countries, serving through 16,800 member clubs. And one such club is our Mekong Communication Club, which started in the year 1988. A typical Toastmaster meeting consists of 3 sessions. First comes the prepared speech session, where the speakers get time to prepare for a speech on a subject of their choice as per the guidelines of their manual. Coming to the second session, that is the table topic session, here the speakers are chosen randomly and is given a topic to which they have to respond immediately. Now, coming to the next session, it is the evaluation session. This is the session where the speakers and the proceedings of the meeting will be evaluated and the feedback will be given. To have a successful meeting, which is an expectation, we have a few role takers who turn the expectation into reality. When I call upon the role taker, I request them to come here and give a brief about the role so that for the better understanding. So firstly, I call upon the timer Toastmaster Mamata.
Good evening, everybody. Today my role is as a timer, but till marriage we live expectations and reality matches, but only after marriage we come to know our expectations will never match with the reality. Our reality will be different and the expectations will be too high. So we better accept the reality and leave the expectations. Now, as a timer, I'll be noting of 3 sessions. One is a prepared speech session, where 5 minutes I'll be showing the green card, 6 minutes I'll be showing the yellow card, and 7 minutes I'll be showing the red card. And the second one is table topics. 1 minute I'll be showing the green card, 1 minute 50 seconds I'll be showing the yellow card, and 2 minutes I'll be showing the red card. Now the third one is the evaluation session. Evaluation session, 2 minutes I'll be showing the green card, 3 minutes I'll be showing the yellow card, and 4 minutes I'll be showing the red card. Thank you. I'll give the report when I called upon by the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mamata. Now I'm going to call upon the R counter Toastmaster Raja.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I was watching an interview and the interviewer was asking Obama, "What is your weakness?" Obama thought for a while and he said, "During my speeches, I take pauses, long pauses, and people mock me for that, and that is my weakness." Obama is considered one of the greatest speakers in the history, and he has this behavior of taking a pause during his speech. However, in today's session, I will be acting as the R counter, and I'll be counting all the R's, repeated words, crutch words, and I'll be giving my report at the end of the session when called upon.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja. Now I would want to call upon the grammarian Toastmaster Raghunandana.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speeches, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any misuse of the English language, as well as outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day Word of the day, pristine, meaning clear and fresh as if new. So usage, Hora blew nose into the pristine kerchief, scrunched it into a ball and threw it out. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give a report when called upon. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghunandana. Now I would want to call upon PP Evaluator Toastmaster Prashant.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. I request the speakers to avoid speaking on sex, politics, religion, and I request also that you enter or exit only during applause. Thank you, and I will report during evaluation session. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prashant. Moving on to the first session, that is a prepared speech session, we have 3 speakers today. Before I call upon the first speaker, I would request the individual evaluator DTM MU but to read out the project guidelines.
Madam Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters. This is a level 2 project 3. It's about introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Some notes are there for the evaluator. The member is completing the project, is developing an understanding of the Toastmasters mentoring. The speech is about a time when a member was a protege. It may be from any time in his or her life, and the member may discuss any aspect of the protege experience. The speech should not be a report on the content of the introduction to Toastmasters mentoring project. Time allowed 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, ma'am.
Thank you, DTM MU Butt. The first speaker is the co-founder of High Performance Alchemy and she is a life coach. She is attempting her level 2 project 3 with a speech titled The Guide. So please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Sushma with a speech titled The Guide.
If you want a harvest in 1 year, grow a crop. If you want a harvest in 10 years, grow trees. If you want a harvest for a lifetime, grow people. Dear Toastmasters and guests, I am talking about the effects of mentoring. This quote comes to my mind whenever I think of mentors in my own life. It could be in Toastmasters or even outside. Today, I would like to share 4 key learnings which I did get as a protege in my Toastmasters journey. I started my Toastmasters journey in 2013 in Wipro. As soon as I joined the club, I was assigned a mentor for my speeches. I did reach out to the mentor, and the first thing I asked my mentor Advait Chaudhary was, "Are you going to alter the content of my speech? Please don't do. I don't want that. I want my speech to be original, pristine." My mentor replied, No, mentoring doesn't work like that. As a mentor, I am just supposed to guide you to refine your speeches, to prepare you to perform better. That is all I am going to do. So I told, okay, fine. So it's not that people cannot do well without a mentor. It's just that they will get that added boost to perform better and the growth gets propelled faster. So the first lesson I learned from my mentor Advait was, in your personal development journey, there is never an I can do it alone phase. It's best to have a mentor. I then started reaching out to Alap Mehta in Wipro itself. He was my mentor for a certain period of time. I had created a comfort zone for myself which I was not able to cross. So I asked him for his help. As a mentor, Alap was there when I was practicing my speeches. He made me practice again and again and again till I got it right. Looking at his mentoring style, I wondered, In his phrasal dictionary, is there something called giving up? The second lesson I learned from Alap was a genuine mentor never allows his or her protege to give up. I then joined Mekon Toastmasters and I started reaching out to a person whom I look up to. I observed that whenever I went to him for either mentoring or some advice, he would follow a very methodical approach. And every time I would see the same level of enthusiasm, the same level of discipline, the same level of clarity in him. No prizes for guessing, it's our own DTM AK Prabhakara sir. He taught me a very important lesson, not only for Toastmasters but in life also. It is follow the system. The system has everything. It is designed in such a way that your reality is better than your expectations. This is what I learned. So once we follow the system without deviating from it, we get more than we even expect. That's the brilliant lesson which sir taught me. As I moved on, I constantly got in touch with another person who also gave me very valuable advice. I look up to this person too, and whenever he is conversing with me or anyone else, I see that it is very vibrant. He is sort of a walking knowledge base, I can say. His words are often peppered with humor, very valuable insights, quotes from famous people, famous incidents, anecdotes and whatnot. In overall, he's a very interesting person to strike a conversation with. Again, no prizes for guessing, it's our own DTM MU Bhatt sir. So I, as a protege, got to know about 4 valuable points from each of my mentors. There are a lot more people out there. Now, the point is, why does Toastmaster insist on mentoring? Apart from the 4 key points which I shared, why is it so important in Toastmasters, that mentoring? The thing is, again, repeating what I told earlier, it's not that a protege cannot do well for himself or herself without a mentor. That's not the point. The point is, we can grow faster in our respective journey, and mentoring, getting exposed to mentoring gives us access to learning from the mentors themselves. There could be some valuable skills which we can pick up as a protege, and it helps us understand the technicalities of the system better. In this case, it is the Toastmaster system, and more than anything else, it helps us improve as a person, not just as a speaker, as a person, even better at every step. That is the goal of mentoring. It's not like one speech gets over, the mentoring gets over. It's not like that, it's for a lifetime. Summing it all up together, all my thoughts, I would like to share a quote by Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. He said, while we all have joined Toastmasters, at least most of us have joined Toastmasters to learn to make great speeches, it is but the beginning of the good that happens to us, or the good that we do to mankind. Toastmaster mentors are the torch bearers of this goodness. With this, I would like to end my speech. Over to Toastmasters.
Thank you, DTM Sushma. Moving on to the second speaker, I request the individual evaluator Toastmaster Sai Ganesh to read out the project guidelines.
Good evening, Toastmasters and the no guests. Okay. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Notes for the evaluator being myself. The member completing this project is working to write a speech with a purpose. The speech they create must be well written and clearly focused. The goal is to meet their expressed purpose statement with a well-executed speech. The member will present a well-organized, well-delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech content and style should work well together. All the best to the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Ganesh. The second speaker is a professional dancer who knows 10 different forms of dance. She loves to read novel and is a chess player. To how much I know her, she's very ambitious. Ambitious to the extent that she wants to own Go Native, and a long-term goal of her is to win Bigg Boss. The speaker is attempting her level 1 project 2 with speech title Last but Not the Least. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Suprabha with the speech title Last but Not the Least.
Thank you, Masters of Ceremonies, for making me feel good about myself. Well, a very good evening to fellow Toastmasters. Well, I have 2 elder siblings who studied apparently so that I don't have to. I guess it's just how it works. Because most families have 1 extra child. In my case, it's 2. So you know who you are. Don't pretend. Well, every family has that 1 child that they like, but 1 more child, just in case of emergencies. I just want to run a little test here. How many of you are the firstborns, like first children of the family? Okay, quite a few. So now, everyone, look at these people. Look at the lines on their face, the white in their hair, or the hopelessness in their eyes. Because of all the pressure that's been put upon them, right? People, listen to me. The first kid is always the project. People have their first child and then they'll be like, oh my God, I'll make you the best kid in the universe. You will study engineering, medical, Indian classical, Western classical, Kathak, horse riding. You'll learn how to play Casio keyboard with 1 finger when guests come. Ting, 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 ting. Yeah. First kids always be like this when guests come. Dance for uncle, dance for uncle. Why am I dancing for uncle? Shut up, don't ask question, dance for uncle. Yeah. And then people have their second child, aka the middle bonds. Any middle bonds here? A few of you. No offense. But did you know that people stop making middle bonds these days? Because they are like the yellow light on the traffic signal. Nobody cares about. But anyway, families tell the middle bonds, you are going to achieve everything that the first child didn't achieve. But you, no offense. Like, of course, they know how to adjust, tolerate to every weather, climate, people, situations, etc. But whereas firstborns, they're the golden children of the family, responsible, and the ones that told us that we were adopted. I still remember the first thing my brother ever told me was, "Kachre ki dabbi se uta ke lai hai tere mummy." I actually believed him. I went and asked my mother for my birth certificate. Yeah, she didn't have it. But she didn't have his either. And I look like them. He doesn't. And then people have their third child. The most pampered, spoon-fed, spoiled, careless, shameless, mannerless, whatever less. Yeah. And then they look at the third child and then be like, yeah, you go do whatever you want. See, we tried this pressure thing. It really doesn't work. Now your siblings, they've gone crazy. So you go follow your heart. Some people, they have only 1 child. Only children, yeah. So, well, if you are the only child at your house, that's because your parents had you and then they realized that they don't like children. So, can I give it back? No? Okay. Yeah, do arts, study music. I love my siblings a lot because if I wouldn't, they'd beat me up. I've never seen any other relationship on the face of earth that has a more profound effect on us than the relationship that we share with our siblings. Honestly, one of the perks of having siblings is like you'll get a lifetime supply of clothes, accessories, money, a driver and a chaperone. Honestly, not even kidding, my brother has this 10-step Korean skincare routine that he diligently follows every day. He has a face wash, a beard wash, a face and beard wash, a face scrub. Yes, I have a soap that I use on my face and body, sometimes on my hair also. And for scrub, it's the same soap, you just do this. Works the right way. Yeah, once he got this serum, I went into his room, all the skincare products neatly organized. So I got the serum, it said visible results within a week. So I took a lot of his product because it's his. And he was not there for a week, so plus point. So I started using. You know, within 3-4 days, my skin started to glow. I was like, I should also get into skincare routine, man. Damn, I've never looked so beautiful. Yeah, after a week he comes, I be like, see, I use your face serum. It's amazing. I think I'll also start following your skincare routine. He says, thanks, but I do not have a face serum. I was like, what is that thing in the purple bottle then? He's like, yeah, that one is a beard growth oil. Yeah. Fortunately, I didn't grow hair on my face, but he stopped using that product. I said this because these are some of the expectations of having a sibling. You feel like you'll be showered with, you know, all the love 24/7. You'll be sprinkled with all the luxuries in the world, which is true, like for an extent. But the reality is quite contradicting. Having a sibling, and if you're the younger one, that means you don't have identity of your own. Nobody recognizes you by your name. You'll be like, oh, you're his sister, you're her sister, your brother is that, your brother is this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then they've set the standard so high that we have to constantly prove our worth to everybody around because, yeah, why not? But you know what? I have one thing that my siblings don't, and that is membership of Toastmasters. I may be the last, but I'm definitely not the least. Thank you, and back to him.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suprabha. Before I call upon the third speaker, I request the individual evaluator, Toastmaster Shiva, to read out the project guidelines.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. The speaker is attempting engage your audience with humor project. The purpose of this project is for the member to determine their style of humor and apply it to a speech that centers around a central message. Notes for the evaluator: the member completing this project is working to develop their ability as a humorous speaker and to better understand their own sense of humor. The member will deliver a well-organized speech. The speech should not be a report on the content of the Engage Your Audience with Humor project. The duration of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva. The third speaker was the past president of Mekon Communication Club. Currently works in the learning and development space at cyber security company. He spends a significant amount of time throughout the day trying to understand why we do what we do, while forgetting what he's actually supposed to be doing. The speaker is attempting Level 1 Project 2 with a speech titled Mainstream Madness. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Ajay with a speech titled Mainstream Madness.
I am attempting a project from the manual Engage with Humor, and my evaluator could not have had a more serious poker face reading the guidelines. So take it easy. Thanks, Suprabha, for kicking things started with a funny speech. Mainstream madness, trends have always been a part of society. Trends come and go, even since prehistoric times. There have always been trends. I mean, let's imagine. I'm no expert in petrology or the study of rocks, but we can all infer how these cave paintings came about in Madhya Pradesh. There are these deer paintings and all that. I think the early man had a very simple life. Hunt, eat, sleep, repeat, correct? One day, one extra intelligent guy, he decided instead of after hunting, eating, he thought he'll draw this. And he saw it. And suddenly there are others inspired. They're starting to draw as well. Now the deer is rotting, but these guys have paintings. It's good, this is how trends start. And but not all trends catch up, catch the imagination of the masses. some trends are so viral that it becomes mainstream. In fact, if you don't take part in these trends, you are probably not considered a part of society. That is what I call mainstream madness. Now, I have always been on the fence about following trends. I am skeptical about following them, or should I be critiquing them? But last year I made an interesting decision, like late last year. Let me follow these mainstream trends and see how I feel about it. So today I'll probably share a few of these trends that I've had some experience. First one is solo traveling. People here, some of you know, some of you don't. Solo traveling is in vogue, you agree? It's like solo traveling everywhere, solo traveling. Solo traveling is very simple to understand. You travel solo, right? So last year, thanks for talking about Goa. Last year around December 20th, 8 of my friends decided to go to, like a group trip, to go to Gokarna. On 19th of December, 2 people were still on the plan. On 20th December, the friend came to my house and he said, dude, I'm not coming. I'm like, then why are you here? To drop you to bus stop. Like such a kind fellow. But he inspired me. He said, no, you should go solo traveling. It's very good. It'll give you a lot of time to introspect and reflect on life. I also got inspired. I'm a Toastmaster. So I went on this solo travel. It did give me a lot of time to introspect and reflect of why I'm not on a couples trip. I'm sitting at the beach. There are friends there, a group of friends having fun with each other. There are couples here having fun with each other, and I am there solo. I understood how solo trips work. They reduce your expectation of life so much that everything becomes interesting. I was sitting on the beach, one middle-aged, pot-bellied, hairless dude in a tight t-shirt was walking by. I'm curiously observing him. Very interesting. I'm like, hey man, what's up? What are you doing? He's like, dude, I'm going solo traveling. I was like, come. We both sat and we spoke about, I'm so bored, everything. I'm like just talking. He's from Mumbai. I'm like, Mumbai, Mannat, Shah Rukh Khan. I'm just dropping random Mumbai names. At one point we were discussing the recipe of a vada pav. Solo travel. People never go on a solo travel. It's in the word. Your life is so low. The second one, what is this? Work from coffee shop culture. Because of this work from home, you can work from coffee shops. I almost have ADHD. It is a Herculean task for me to get work done when I am the only person in the room. In a coffee shop, there is food, there is music, and there are interesting people all around. But I had to try it. First day itself, after 3 coffees and 4 pastries and $2,500 down, work was yet to begin. A week after doing this, I realized that I'm just working at that point to pay my cafe bill. These cafes are very expensive, trust me. 1 coffee is $200, and I'm not even kidding. And added to that, when you work from a cafe, no one takes you seriously, starting with my manager. So I get on a call, he's like, so Ajay, cafe, huh? It's work, right? But then one day he's like, Ajay, what about you, man? You work from cafe, huh? Then he's like, log in on a Saturday. Anyway, you go to cafe, no, log in also. Work from cafe. And the other one is, the last one actually, is uploading food on social media. Have you all seen that? It's a big thing. It's a very big thing, uploading food on. I'm pretty, I'm willing to predict that the first person who painted on the rocks, direct descendant is the first person who uploaded on Instagram. You have to eat your food, but no, they're uploading. But I'm like, okay, I was in Meghna's biryani. Nice biryani was there. I was about to eat it, ready, but to upload. So I took a photo, I uploaded, then I'm ready to eat, I got a notification. Like, oh, exciting, let's see what people say. First comment, veg biryani is not biryani. It's pulao. And me being me, I had to Google that immediately, sent out a comment. Boss, The biryani, the root word is biryan. It is a Persian word which means to fry, which means literally anything fried and put in rice can be biryani, which is like mutton biryani, chicken biryani, veg biryani. I'm like, yes, that proves a point. Then I looked at my biryani. It was not biryani anymore. Actually just cold rice. I was out with a friend the other day. She said, tacos look good, but a roll tastes better, but I'll obviously take the tacos. Because people have started to eat for food that looks good more than tastes good. Somewhere we lost the plot. So this uploading on social media is also something that's not working for me. So in the end, this is what I want to share with you. I encourage you to not look at mainstream madness as good or bad. Try it out. Decide for yourself. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If it is for you, well, welcome to the madness. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ajay. So this comes to an end of the first session. Moving on to the most exciting for some and most horrific for some, that's the table topic session. Today's table topic master is a BCom graduate who's a passionate mandala artist. Music and dance is her go-to therapy. She is a movie freak and she loves watching the sun go down. Her dream destination is Australia. So please help me welcome the table topic master of the evening, Toastmaster Pavani CR.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharani, for such a great introduction. A very happy evening, everyone. Table topic in itself is a crucial element of Toastmasters. The main objective here is to improve your impromptu skill by giving you the topics on the spot. This allows you to think on your feet and become a better speaker. It also ensures to improve your listening and organizational skills as well. Practicing these impromptu speech topics can be a great way to build your confidence as well. The time allotted to the speakers will be at 1 minute, the timer displays the green card, at 1 minute 30 seconds, the timer displays the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, the timer displays the red card. The members are requested to kindly stick to the time allotted. Without a further ado, let's get started. The first topic is Indian RRR in Oscar. Indian RRR in Oscar. This topic goes to Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Of late in the entertainment industry, there's these 3 letters that's very common. RRR. For a long time, this is something that we've been aspiring to win. It is not some Nobel Peace Prize or Nobel Prize, but it's an Oscar and for a song. We all love music so much that we wear it while we are riding too. We forget the hazards that are around us, but we listen to it. Because music is something we all listen, not just to pass some time, but to understand what that music says. Sometimes music is what wakes me up at 7 in the morning to go to the gym, because otherwise the ringtone is not sufficient to wake me up. Sometimes when you're sad, you listen to music. When you're happy, you listen to music. And the same exact music today has got us an Oscar award. When I watched the movie RRR for the very first time, the most interesting scene that I was waiting for was exactly the song. It matched the vibe in the situation that it was present. And when I heard it, I knew this song is going to be there for a long time, not like some madness trend that's going to be there just for some short time. And that exactly happened. It caught up to the West, all around the world, and here we are today, making South India very proud for making a mark in the history. When you truly put yourself somewhere out there, you're sure to win. If not awards, at least the hearts. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Snehal. The next topic is junk food's popularity relies on marketing. Junk food's popularity relies on marketing. This topic goes to Toastmaster Ramakrishna.
Good evening, Toastmaster, fellow guests. So it is one of the favorite topic, junk food. Okay. So here actually, generally our health depends on the food what we take actually. Okay. We call it as three types: sattvic food, rajasic food, and tamasic food. Okay. So generally, junk food comes under tamasic. Okay. When you eat this junk food, definitely people say you are lazy. You cannot. You are unable to actively participate in the things. So even though it gives more thrill to eat actually, for the tongue, junk food is the one which gives more happiness, but nevertheless it is not good for the health purpose. So I always prefer not to have junk food more. So have food, quality of the food which gives healthy and happiness to our day-to-day life. So this is about my speech. Thanks. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramakrishna. The next topic is online teaching versus classroom teachings. Online teaching versus classroom teaching. This topic goes to Toastmaster Balaji AS.
So much. There's some trouble down there, but no problem. This is online teaching. So, online teaching versus offline teaching, as someone who has been teaching for the past 12 years, I can clearly tell you it was not just the students having fun during online teaching. Students were the most stupid in this situation because student paid money and played around. We got money and played around. Right? So we all think it's the students. My God, they got a different thing. They got some screen on top and all of that. They thought they were using technology. Boss, we were the ones using technology. YouTube, our savior. We would have to take the entire chapter for almost half an hour to 45 minutes. And now it was high time they also realized that the same concept on YouTube can be learnt better in 5 minutes. So we all thought offline teaching is the only way a child can learn. What I realized is a child will learn only when the child wants to learn, be it offline or online. Nothing different happened when we went online, nothing different happened when we came offline. The same Sriram is rank 1, the same Pratik is rank 25. So nothing's absolutely changing. But of course, during online teaching, we just found out that the biggest cheaters are not the students, it's the parents. Because we literally saw parents sitting there with textbooks open and they were trying to teach adala kano. Like, we saw parents do that. And this is the same parent who would come to school and like, morals and principles are the most important. Oh my God, I am so tired of e-kalat maklu concept. It's as though we were born of flesh and they were born of pure nectar of the God himself. Right? So I honestly feel it's just alternatives. Offline is definitely going to give you a personalized touch, is what we feel, so that fees comes on time. That's all about it. Back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Balaji, for that fun-filled response. The next topic is consistency is the key to success. Consistency is the key to success. This topic goes to Toastmaster Sai Priya.
Hello, weak audience. A very good evening to dear Toastmasters and guests. Guests aren't present, so just Toastmasters. So consistency is the key to success. This was happening in my 6th standard when the honeycomb in front of my bedroom was a great life lesson for me of hard work and consistency, where I learned all this from the honeybees, relentlessly working day and night, making the honeycomb, making honey, and taking good care of their family and friends as a friend, because I find friendship in animals too. And so this started right from day one of schooling, where I consistently worked very hard, midnight, sat up whole night, had coffee and studied really hard, went for tuitions, worked out sums myself and became a star of the class, my teacher's pet, and did very well and got excellent marks at every test, came out of with about 20 out of 25 in each subject overall, sometimes even out of out, and about 20 as usual out of 25, and out of 100 above 80, above 90, and not 100 on 100 once, yes. And in my final exam I stood first in class, and the first sign was when a dog hugged me, literally. It jumped and hugged me with so much happiness that I did so well. My mother was out there so tensed unnecessarily, but I was specifying her, saying, no, you don't worry, I will do well. I worked very hard, I will get the fruit of my hard work. I'll show it to you in my report card. And she was thrilled when she saw the dog hugging me. She got a sign of relief. She was really happy for me and very thankful to the Lord for helping me, giving me that strength by sending those honeybees for further motivation. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Priya. The next topic is the power of manifestation. The power of manifestation. The topic goes to Toastmaster Sanjana.
Thank you for an interesting topic master, and a very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. And yes, I do believe in manifestation, and this year I'm literally manifesting for energy like Ranveer Singh or someone who is as hyper as him, because for the past 2 years with COVID hitting the whole world, all of us have been potating at home, and which has literally made us very inactive. And I would want to overcompensate it this time by manifesting by manifesting some amount of energy like Ranveer Singh, and then hugging random people and talking to random people, and that would really help with my interpersonal skills, given the fact that I am a lawyer. And that's how I feel that I would be attracting new clients, and also and also like my future potential employers. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana. Next up, the next topic is layoff of techies in the USA and its repercussions. Layoff of techies in the USA and its repercussions. This goes to Toastmaster Varaprasad.
Yeah, I think I'll taking a cue from him, the madness of trends. It's when any company hires 10,000 people, I think it's somewhere in the last page, hardly. But he fires only 700 people. It's in the headlines. Nowadays, there's so much of YouTubers, so many guys talking about it. If you look at the density or the proportion, slow performers, either you say them as fired or intelligently put them as a low performer as a bench so that they're forced to leave. Both are the same. Most of the industries has this practice. But again, the madness of trend, if I can connect back, because I was very much connected to the topics he's bringing. People are only want to sow the catchy and then injecting the fear into the system. If you look at the other way around, the way India is doing in terms of industry and the amount of demand for the skills, especially cyber security or new skills, AI, IoT, abundant. Even the Amazon himself need, Google himself need, because he is struggling to catch up with the ChatGPT, especially with the AI technology for search engine. That news is also there in the open area, but I have not seen people talking about it. And being me from last 25 years in the industry, I can tell you for all the techies, watch out. You just need to reskill or pay an attention to make sure you are relevant to the present skills. There you show your madness to the trends or catch up and look at the prospectus of company, including all the companies which came in the social media, not necessarily closing their business, they're still hiring. But the way it is presented in the market is totally different. Don't get yourself get into the trap of that news, but there's an abundant requirement. At least I would say next 10 years, for Indians especially, there's a huge demand. You just need to be relevant, you just need to be upskilled. Many times you just need to be reskill yourselves. Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varaprasad. The next topic is revolution of digital payments. Revolution of digital payments. This topic goes to DTM A.K. Prabhakara.
Madam Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, I have the fruit of what I did. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. The digital revolution, I'll put it that way, it is about whatever code, in what form, whatever form. You have to take a look at the big picture. Without it today, just imagine, could we have managed finance of 140 crore people in this country? Without that, it is impossible. Somehow they came up with this concept that today there used to be a regular problem of coin shortage of small change. Coin, they used to give Cadbury's chocolate, remember that? Today it's gone. It's because if you don't have change, he will ask, why don't you pay Google Pay, Bheem, this, that. So trillions of rupee have been exchanged through this process. And you think of JAM, every Jan Dhan Yojana, Aadhaar, whole lot of stuff, banking, everything, every person individually is reachable. And who is in need, who is not in need is also figured out. And lot of pilferage, loss of revenue has been plugged. So it is something that has taken place as a revolution in this country, and this country is showing the way for other countries which are poor. And if, as I said, somebody said today, that if you want to really bring up this society seed, better grow a man or grow human beings. And that way, if you look at it, the way to do it is through technology. And that technology is the one that is going to solve the problem. Whichever you bring in the problem, I will say there is a way out of that. So other day, the digital thing can be extended. Google, the street view. Can we count the number of potholes? I posed this question. You can count. And the High Court is being given wrong figures. So everything is possible, and the code and through the digital, the security is only one thing that is to be developed parallelly, but the world is going to really see the social equality in due course of time. Over to table topic master.
Thank you, DTM A.K. Prabhakara. Coming to the next topic, India is now the 5th largest economy in the world. India is now the 5th largest economy in the world. This topic goes to Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa.
Ellarigu namaskara. Needless to say, Ours is the largest economy and also the largest population that we have all over the world. We are, I think, we are the first people. Somebody says we are not developing because our population is more. I don't agree with that one. When the people are there, we cannot eliminate or slaughter them. How best you can make use of the people? Say there are a lot of intelligent. When I see some intelligent small kids are talking fantastic way, intelligence is abundant in our country. So naturally, ours will be the largest economy in the coming days. Last time I was viewing a Count Banega Karorpati. A small kid came and said, without looking into the book, wearing a closed eyes, I can read thee. I was wondering how she can read that, but closing her eyes, if the book is given, she starts reading it. What type of intelligence that girl has? So many people have intelligent people. I have seen many people, but only thing is opportunities we have to provide them. When an opportunity comes, I always talk to the younger generation. When an opportunity comes, identify and grab it. Grab it, say, don't allow it to go. That's one of my example. One of my example is when an opportunity came, I grab it. That's why I was able to move upwards. I advise all the people here, even in my factory and whenever I go to the colleges and this thing, when an opportunity comes, grab it. Don't worry, when somebody calls for a speaking, they hide it. Take it, come forward and speak, whatever it is there. So you will progress. In this scenario, needless to say, India is the largest growing economy in the coming days. I wish all my country will go to that place.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa. The next topic is changes that you would want to make in the 2023 budget. Changes that you would want to make in the 2023 budget. This goes to Toastmaster Jyoti Rao.
Good evening, Toastmasters. The changes that I would want to make in the 2023 budget is first to tell my children that they should start taking care of the house expenses. For children, it is very easy with whatever salary they get, they can spend it on their entertainment, clothes, food. There is no commitment for them. They don't have to see that the daily necessities or the daily needs, which includes the health of the family, that expenses has to be taken care of. So the budgeting starts to keep aside money for the food that they eat, for the shelter that they take, and keep something for the rainy day. I think if such a budgeting happens, each youngster who starts earning will actually know what to save, how much to spend, and how much they can throw away for unnecessary things. Of course, as parents we think unnecessary, but I'm sure the youngsters think it is very, very necessary. That is debatable. But yet, whatever is necessary need not be cannot be compromised. Well, the other part of the budgeting is also to be sure that when you earn, whether you take up a job for your liking or for the money that is involved. So if a person takes up a job for the money that is involved, may not stand long because money is always, shortfalls are requirement. But if we take up a job which is of our interest, we'll go for a long term, and that is about my take for the budgeting. Thank you, and over to the
Toastmaster Jyoti. Lastly, social media is making society less happy. Social media is making society less happy. This topic goes to DTM Udanka.
So talking about trends, how many of you scroll on Instagram Reels here? All of you, right? Most of you at least. So you guys must come across this one reel. Share this, click on the share button and tag the third person in that list, and this will happen, this will not happen. What is that? Who is that third person? A friend of you who you constantly share things and he shares you back. Or a person whom you think he's close to you. But is it so? There are few people who are really close to people, to us, to our hearts, and yes, we will share with them. And there are few people who think social media is their life, and they make friends in social media. They live their life in social media, and everything what they do, as he told, just not uploading the food. From morning, from getting up from the bed till they go to the bed, they upload everything what they do on the social media, thinking that if I upload, I am the coolest person or the coolest in that particular group. But is it so? Isn't social media influencing our life to make ourselves look cool? And how, as we talk about budget, aren't we spending more than what we need to spend on that to just make sure that we are the coolest person in this world? Just taking an example of the tacos and the roll. I know what the prices are because I'm a foodie, and yes, it is almost the double price. So think over, is social media life are influencing? Back to the topics, Master.
Thank you, DTM Udanka. With that, we have come to an end of today's table topic session. I would like to tell that your future depends on what you do today. So do something that your future self will thank you for. With this, I hand over the charge back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavani. Before entering the moment of reality, that is a general evaluation session, let us take a 10-minute networking session. Welcome back, everyone. Coming to the session which will give us a reality check, today's general evaluator is a handwriting analyst and a graphotherapist, blending her experience as a teacher and a principal with her current role as a facilitator for handwriting analysts nationwide. With a deep commitment to lifelong learning and personal growth, Toastmaster Zulekha indulges her love for reading, traveling, and the pursuit of knowledge has no bounds. So please help me welcome the general evaluator, Toastmaster Zulekha, with a huge round of applause. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. So before I proceed with the evaluation, I request all of you to please vote for the prepared speeches and the table topics. I'll give you 30 to 40 seconds. Done? Yeah, thank you. As per the theme, expectation versus reality, our expectation of starting the meeting at 6:15 did not match the reality. It started at 6:22. And the business session went on very well. We have our, it was read very well by the president. We have our club contest on 20th February. Names should be given to the VP by 18th of Feb. And also, the international speech contest is going to happen. For that, level 2 is a criteria. Only if you have finished level 2, you are eligible to take part in this contest. And for the next week's meeting, please contact your VP. Only one speech has been booked so far. Coming to the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Lakshmi, started on time, started with the apt metaphor, adding lot of humor to the topic and to her content. She started with the theme expectation and reality. Her expectation of with her maid, how it did not match with the reality, and the car, how it did not support her in reaching on time to her son's college. That was very nice, very well put, very interesting, and day-to-day examples you have chosen. Very good job done. And the meeting was set up very well. You were well on time. You were before the meeting, well in advance. You did the board work also and set up the banner and all that. Good job done on that. President Toastmaster Gaurav, since we did not have any guest today in the meeting, so no guest introduction was done. And he introduced the master of the ceremony very well in a very great humorous way, and something comparing when we expect something to go right, it goes left. It was very interesting. Coming to the master of the ceremony, we will discuss about it a little later. Now we shall go with the first session, that is the prepared speech session. I invite the first speech evaluator. That is, the first speech was level 2 project 3 by Toastmasters Sushma. I request evaluator DTM MU Bar to give the evaluation.
Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished Toastmaster Sushma in particular. First, let me congratulate you, Sushma, on giving a really very well organized, wonderful speech. Now, having said that, why do I say it was such a wonderful speech? First of all, this is, you talked about Toastmasters mentoring. What is good about what you did was, cleverly you brought about your learning. Here the speech, the guideline of the speech is, we should understand the importance of Toastmasters mentoring. Why a mentor? What is mentoring? What does mentor do? What are the advantages of mentoring? All those things you cleverly intertwine as part of your speech, as the 4 key learnings from your mentors. You know, in the process, you brought about what you learned as a mentor and why mentor is required. For example, you used 3 mentors example, whom you have taken as mentors. First was Advait Chaudhary from Wipro, then distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara, and then distinguished Toastmaster M.U. Bai. So all the 3, you told all the qualities of a mentor and what a mentor does to improve the performance of a protege. You brought about by way of what they did to you. For example, when the case of Advait, you said about how you was more as a guide and a support. That's what a mentor is supposed to be. He should be a guide and a supportive, and on a long run, and nurturing. That's what you brought about him, and how he was present all the time and always goading you to do better and better, repeating the speeches again and again. Prabhakara, what you learned about how methodical approach has to be followed. You told about his clarity in what he wants to present. That's one thing. You brought about from MU, but the enthusiasm what the mentor exhibits towards the protege, how he can help and on a continuous basis. These are the points which you brought about, which are so much essential. For example, a mentor is supposed to be you are using a mentor's personal experience, his wisdom, and an informed perspective of the mentor. That you brought about wonderfully well in your speech. And another thing what I liked about is what the organization of the speech. A very, very powerful opening. If you want to harvest a short time, you grow a crop, it may be for 10 years trees, and if you want to harvest lifetime, grow people. What a powerful way of starting, because that's what mentoring is about. They nurture people on a long-term basis. Having said that, then also, you also told that it is not only for speech making, the mentoring will continue, that it will improve you as a person. There's another aspect you brought about wonderfully. And it is not that a protege cannot grow by herself or himself, but definitely the mentor makes it happen faster in a better way. That aspect you brought about. And you ended in a very powerful manner, quoting Ralph Smedley, that is not about just individual growth, it's about the growth of the society as a large. And what a powerful statement. Mentors are torch bearers of the Toastmasters movement. Wonderfully brought about. Having said that, could you have done something differently? Only one aspect which I thought you could have probably added. You brought about by way of speech, but it did not come out openly. That's about the distinction between coaching and mentoring. Actually, that's one point you missed out. You definitely told how a coach is different from a mentor, because mentor is for a long term, coach is for a specific skill. That could have been specifically brought about just to bring clarity to the person who may not be knowing, because here we are supposed to understand the difference between coaching and mentoring and bring about the difference also to the audience. That point you could have brought it some way in, that's what I felt. Otherwise, a well organized, wonderful speech, a very powerful speech, what I thought, and a great thing. Keep it up all the time. Take up your next speech as early as possible. All the best, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Wow, that was amazing. What an evaluation. He rightly quoted, what is the difference between a mentor and a coach. Coach is for short term or for a specific skill, and mentor is for lifelong. Every one of us needs mentor, to guide us through, because it adds their experience and value into our life. So mentoring is a must, and rightly, my mentor is also doing a great job bringing me here on the stage for the first time to do the general evaluation. Awesome. Thank you to my mentor, Sai Snehal. And he added all valuable points, everything from the beginning to the end of the speech, how each and every step, how she differentiated different types of mentors, everything was clearly explained. Very well said, good job done. Can we all hear for the speaker and the evaluator? Moving on to the next speech, that is Level 1 Project 2, Toastmaster Suprabha. And I invite evaluator Toastmaster Sai Ganesh for the evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster, and good evening, Toastmasters, and Toastmasters Suprabha in particular. So I'd like to break my evaluation into 3 aspects as recommended by the Toastmasters, by Toastmasters. So the first thing is what you excelled at. So I think your presence behind the lectern is just captivating. Your smile is your biggest asset, and I think the guys from your college or your class would completely agree to what I'm saying. So I would like to congratulate you because I was truly inspired by the fact that you took up humorous as your theme out of all the other themes that were present. I personally am very scared to give a humorous speech because I feel that it might tank, but that was not the case with you. The fact that you chose your speech to be a humorous one was that I think that needs to be appreciated. So a huge round of applause for you on that. And you didn't have an iota of fear that your jokes would tank or it would not go as you intended it to. The introduction that you gave was very interactive, so it brought in the attention of the listeners very quickly. The crux of your speech or the theme of your speech was relatable to all of us. There were so many burn situations in your speech for all of us as first children or middle children. So I feel for all of you guys, and I'm with you completely. What you may work on is, I think your speech was very humorous, but I personally feel that there were certain areas that you may work on. For instance, I felt that there were a lot of anecdotes in your speech, but there could have been 1 or 2 points that of your choice that you could have wanted to drive home to the audience to take back. While your introduction was emphatic, I felt that your conclusion was a bit abrupt. I feel a strong conclusion would have had or taken or elevated your speech to the next level. You could have also utilized the complete time that was allocated, that is 7 minutes. Your speech ended at 5 minutes 42 seconds, if I'm not wrong. So that is something that you may work on. And what you can challenge yourself is, I feel you're a naturally good speaker, but your stage presence is something that can be a little bit tweaked, if I may say, because your hand gestures, your hands were mostly here. It should actually be visible to the audience. That is something that you can work on. And avoid rocking back and forth, so you kept doing this. You could have utilized the complete space that was given. That shows that it resembles confidence and that you own the stage and this space. So, and the third one is that you could have improved a bit on your language, the structuring of the speech, the basic vocabulary. So there were certain things that there were certain words that wouldn't suit the decorum of the meeting that we are at. So I think you could have avoided all that, but overall a great speech, and can't wait to listen to many speeches. You are a budding talent. All the best. Yeah.
Thank you, Sai Ganesh. That was a very comprehensive evaluation. You spoke, you explained, from the beginning to the end and the middle, how it has to be, how she started, how it was humorous, how she added fun into it, and then how was the body, and in the end, the conclusion, what are the challenges. You also have told her the challenging, how she could have done this better in another way. All that you have explained totally. So very well evaluated. Thank you so much. Can we all hear for both the speaker and the evaluator? Next we move on to the third speech, that is Level 1 Project 2 by Toastmaster Ajay. I invite evaluator Toastmaster Shiva for the evaluation.
The other day I had to order some food online. I was thinking of the usual mainstream Meghna's biryani. Decided to switch it up. R&R Donne biryani. Should have just stuck with Meghna's biryani. Very good evening to my fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator and no guest today. Toastmaster Ajay gave a speech that was completely laced with humor, and there was no point that I felt that there was a low in the speech. It was continuous laughs throughout the end. Let me start off by telling you where Ajay did really well in his speech. First was the presence of mind. As soon as he came here, he said that was a pretty mundane introduction by the evaluator for a humorous speech. So a great quality for somebody who wants to build humor in your speeches. Second thing is the relatability of the humor. Number one, when you're giving a humorous speech, is to make it relatable for the audience, customize it for the audience where you're delivering it. So he was delivering it today at Mekon Communication Club. There are quite a few young people are aware of the trends. So I would say you've done well in that. There was great audience awareness demonstrated. Especially one part that I loved was the callback towards the end to the cavemen, where people were taking pictures in the coffee shop and uploading on social media. So you called it back to the cavemen. So that was a great job done on that. Coming to the purpose of your project, it was to write a well-organized, humorous speech. The content you had was great. I would say pristine, original, which I appreciate greatly there. And towards the ending, you had a message. You can follow the trends or not. So your message was clear to the audience. Coming to where you could improve your speech, and I had to really struggle to find this. And this was, I would say, the transitions which you could have used in your speech. You came here and said, I have 3 such points, 3 such instances that I want to talk about wherein mainstream madness is present. And instead of that, you could probably say, you could start off with solo traveling. I was solo traveling, I was in Gokarna, we spoke about Vada Pav, Mumbai, and that guy, there I could see a coffee shop, right? And that brings me to my next point, work from coffee shops. And in that coffee shop, I see somebody using their mobile phone, taking pictures of some expensive dish they'll order, and so on and so forth. You could have concluded that with your transitions. That is the only point I have. Overall, to conclude, a great speech laced with humor. Looking forward to your future speeches. Over to you, General Level.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva. I completely agree with you when you say it was a great humorous speech. Yes, it was. And this valuable feedback is given regarding the transition. Yes, it is important to have that transition in any speech so that the audience will connect. Overall, well done, great job by Toastmaster Shiva. Now I invite the Tab G role takers to give the report. To begin with, I invite Toastmaster Mamta.
The business session started at 6:23 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Lakshmi, she took 4 minutes 2 seconds. President addressed Toastmaster Gaurav, he took 4 minutes 25 seconds. Then introduction to the Toastmasters, Toastmaster Sharanya, she took 3 minutes. Then report on the previous meeting by Pavani, she took 2 minutes 12 seconds. Now the speaker's timing is DTM Shushma, she took 6 minutes 17 seconds, and the evaluation by DTM MU Bhatt, he took 3 minutes 54 seconds. Then second speaker TM Suprabha, she took 5 minutes 42 seconds. Then Toastmaster Sai Ganesh, evaluator, he took 3 minutes 56 seconds. Toastmaster Ajay, he took 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Then Toastmaster Shiva Prasad, evaluation, he took 2 minutes 48 seconds. Table topic, overall, I didn't count. And detailed, it is there in the board. Then till now, general evaluation, Toastmaster Zuleka, she took 7 minutes. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Mamta, for that comprehensive, detailed time report. One feedback for Mamta to please kindly note down the exact timing, because there was an error when saying it. Please make a note of that. Next, I would like to invite our counter, Raja.
It was a pristine speech by most of the speakers today. I didn't find fault or repeated words in many of the speeches. So I'm going to read out some of the counts that I've taken for and repeated words. So Sai Ganesh used a lot of us and 2 times. Shiva used 2 times. Sanjana used 1 time and 4 times. Sai Priya used and 5 times. Jyoti used 3 times. And General Evaluator used 4 times. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja, for that report. Hope we are all working on it. Especially, I will overcome and see how I can improvise on that. Next, we will move on to PP Evaluator, Prashant.
Today it was a entire speech session was totally pristine. There was no usage of sex, politics and religion. Also, members entered and exited only during applause. But I found a loud crosstalk during evaluation session. So I would request the members to please avoid because it disturbs the evaluation or a speech. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster Prashant. That was a very keen observation of you. Next, I would like to call Raghunandan, Grammarian Raghunandan.
So good evening, Toastmasters. So the grammarian report is as follows. The word of the day is used by DTM Sushma once. So good usages, original and pristine, methodological approach, hunt, eat, sleep, repeat. One quote was used by DTM Sushma, and thank you.
With that, we come to the end of the Tab G evaluation. Next, we'll move on to the next table topic evaluation. Table topic master Pavani has done a wonderful job. Though the topics were of varied interest, but you have spoken right from the being consistent to budget, RR, online classes versus offline classes, social media and trends and everything. It was a combination of all the things. So there was a lot of learning, a lot of takeaway for all of us from this session, and very interesting, very rich in information. The speakers were comfortable in speaking with the topics. You chose the appropriate, the right candidate, the right speaker with the topic. Very well, great job done. Next, we will move on to the master of this ceremony, that is Toastmaster Hiranyu. The theme was very well introduced, and there was a lot of humor. Humor was added. There was the topic was well introduced, expecting 6 packs, how it moved on to become a family pack, and also expectations from the parents. How when we expect from the parents, how we get the expectation turns, how difficult it is to get a S from parents is what she explained, and that is very apt with the topic, how reality versus with the expectations. Very well done. And also you have done a great job by introducing each speaker, calling on to the dais. You were so confident and energetic, and your smile was throughout. Very inspiring and encouraging to the speakers. Great job done. Thank you. Can we all hear for the speaker? One suggestion what I would like to give, rather I thought, I don't know, I'm in confusion whether to say or not. When I came here and I was sitting, this was polished. Okay, I'm a little allergic to the smell. That was creating a lot of headache for me. So maybe we could have done this kind of work at the end of the meeting. That was a small suggestion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zulekha. Can we stop expecting? No, because don't underestimate the power of a common man. I hope all of you had a great time seeing how expectation turned into reality. With this, I hand over the charge back to the President, Toastmaster Gaurav.
Okay, before I read out the before I read out.
Tell your joke.
So before I read out the winners of the meeting, okay, she cracked a joke, so I stopped. So okay, I would like to thank all the role takers for taking up the roles, and please ensure you come a little bit more early so that we can start at dot 6:15. And is the ballot ready? Until then, yeah, I like to remind everyone that please give your names for the contest before 18th of Feb, and please ensure you're finished level 2 by then before you give the name. Still not done? Okay. And I request everyone to please give your online feedback as well. I know you're giving feedback offline, but still online you can always. Thank you. Coming to the best role takers for today. So I'll be starting off with the MTs, that is Master of Ceremonies, Table Topic Master, and General Evaluator. It goes to the MC Toastmaster Sharanya. Now coming to the tab G, it goes to our counter Toastmaster Raja. The best table topic speaker, it goes to Toastmaster Balaji. Coming to the best evaluator for today, you can pass your phone. It goes to Toastmaster Shiva Prasad. Okay, the best speaker. It goes to, it's actually a tie between two Toastmasters. It's Toastmaster Ajay and Toastmaster Supra.
Together or? On the other side. One on each side. Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. I close meeting number 1198. I request everyone to stand for the national anthem.